What's up, YouTube? How we doing? Thanks for checking out another video. Troll duster rigs. So these can be kind of expensive if you buy them, by themselves or, pre-rigged. They can be kind of troublesome too. So I like to make my own. Basically, a duster is a long strand of single strand wire with hooks, a skirt. I'll add weights to some to make them run deeper, or have them weightless to make them run higher in the water column. I'll show you more about how to make these later, but I've had a lot of luck with just about any of these work. I mean, as long as you tip them with like a sabiki caught bait fish, is money. You're gonna catch fish. So I've used the pink, used the chartreuse, used the blue dusters. They all work. The type of line that I like to use, or the leader line that I like to use for the duster rigs, is the Malin hardwire. It's actually a 61-pound hardwire, 0.016 diameter. And I will use that to twist up my duster rigs. Something else that's great to troll, and this is what I call it a cobia on out of Pensacola, are these little P-line rigged squids. They have, I believe it's fluorocarbon or monofilament leader, like a real heavy fluorocarbon or monofilament leader. Sharks or kings, if you don't get them right in the corner of the mouth, they're just going to bite this right off of your line. But I've trolled these and I've caught a lot of fish on these. Tip them with a bait fish or not. This is a good lure to use as well too. I have another one. That's what they look like in the package. So they're pretty affordable. You can get them in various styles and sizes, but they do work well. Live bait rigs. This is pretty much a duster rig without the duster. Just throw a bait fish. Got two hooks, a stinger hook and a main hook. Throw a bait fish on it. Troll it behind your kayak, or troll it behind your boat. Be sure that bail is open and the clicker is on, because if you've got your rod locked down when one of those fish hits, it's not going to be pretty. They can break your rod easy. Another duster, kind of experimented here with a weighted hook right there. Just to kind of, make it run deeper. What I'll do with these dusters is sometimes I'll run 2 or 3 at one time behind the kayak. The ones on the outside I will put on planer boards and have them run very shallow or have them staggered in different depths. And then have one that's being trolled in the middle that's weighted. So you put the weighted down on 30 or 40 feet, and it'll hang real low in the water column a short distance off the back of the boat. And then you could put the two on the left or right with no weight on planer boards, and the planer board will take them 20-30 feet on either side of the boat. Give them 30 feet of line off the planer board, so your shallow lines are way far back and your deep line is really close up to you. So having these lines spread out so far, it drastically increases your chances of catching fish. You just have to know how to manage those lines when you hook up. So another thing, this is kind of something I figured out last year, thanks to, Emerald Gulf Scuba. So we were out on the Miss Louise tugboat, and it was loaded with fish. The Lawrence was lit up. There were amberjack, chasing bait balls around, hitting the top of the water. I mean, it was crazy, and we could not get anything on the hook. Well, Emerald Gulf or Emerald Coast Scuba down in Destin, they cruised up on us after we had been there for about 30 minutes. We ended up sharing the reef with those guys, and one of the guys who was running the boat saw us fishing, pulled out a fishing rod and a single jig, this thing right here, and he started hammering I mean, he probably caught 3 or 4 amberjack within a 10-15 minute span right in front of us on this jig. So we were on a shallow water reef in Destin. This jig was hitting, so went out and bought a few more of those. So that's something else that got added to the kit. Right there. So Yozuri S. Had this for a while. This is a great lure to throw if, you know, you're paddling along and you see bait hitting the top of the water within casting distance. If you have one of these tied up, you know, toss it over there right in the middle of the school and just start ripping. As you can see, there's teeth marks all over this thing. So those work really well. The Yozuri S. Something else that should be in just about every saltwater tackle box is Berkeley Gold. The stuff catches fish, guys. You know, these shrimp, I mean, they are money on, you know, redfish and flounder and drum and all that sort of thing inshore. But they're great to tip you know, a trolled bait with offshore as well too. You know, I mean, I've used this big pink one with a curly tail for jigs, you know, cobia jigs, that sort of thing. You can also put this on, you know, a duster rig and troll it from a duster, and I mean, it'll get hit. It gets lots of attention. So always having that on me. Always packing plenty of leader line, 60-pound leader line, 20-pound steel line. DOAs, I use a lot of these, throwing off the beach or throwing on oyster bars, mainly inshore, shallow water type stuff, but that really works well. Poppin Court, really great for trout or redfish, makes a lot of noise. But when offshore and you need something to keep your bait up, the way to go by far are balloons. Quick, easy, you know, blow them up, tie them on your line, and they'll also kind of catch the wind too, so you can kind of feed them off in the wind. And you know, you can go one direction or anchor up and let the wind take your bait in a different direction. So these are nice to have. Let's see. Other than that, you know, flukes, jigs, a couple big egg sinkers. I fill salt in my box, so you know, it's really important, guys, if you want to get gear that lasts, get stainless steel. You know, when you kind of cheap out and get the value brand stuff, it's the materials. You know, you're gonna get some crappy metal, and it's going to, here's it go, and it's going to rust out on you really fast. Even if you don't use it, if you just get a little salt water in your box, you know, and it does not take much. So another great go-to lure for the Gulf is a gotcha plug or a gotcha lure. Use a ton of these. They're great off the beach. You know, you can really have a lot of fun with like ladyfish or jacks. You know, they'll hammer them, and that's a blast. But mackerel, you'll catch mackerel with these. Great for piers, also great for kayak fishing. This one is a glow in the dark, so you know, may throw that one at night. But I have several more that are silver with a white bucktail, red head, or chartreuse head, and those work really well too. Octopus circle hooks. These are my go-to hooks for bait. Something not too heavy, you know. I mean, you can catch a big fish on a small hook, and you want to bury that hook in the corner of the fish's mouth. So with a nice circle hook, something that's a little bit smaller, you know, if I'm in a kayak and it can straighten this hook out, yeah, I might not need to bring that fish boat side. But you know, these hooks are great. This is size number 1, but I would use this for saltwater. And you know, just run it through the nostrils of a bait fish, that sort of thing. Throw it back in the water. Use a still leader, or you know, an egg sinker, that sort of thing, if you want to go down on a reef. So octopus hooks are great, or circle hooks. Very similar. Little pompano jig. And that's about it. I prefer braid on a lot of my reels, so I always keep, you know, a few extra spools of braid around. Braid's really nice because you can, you know, you can tie braid together. Say if you've got, you know, some older line, but you know you're on a budget or whatever, you know, I could go and tie, you know, this braid onto, you know, my reel from last year's braid, and you know, spool it up, and I'll usually put a little drop of super glue on the knot with the braid, and I mean, it is like concrete. I mean, it is a solid connection. But say if you got last year's line and it's real thrashed up or twisted up, sometimes that happens when you're trolling. You know, I can pull half the line off, retie onto this, and then reel this back in. And you know, a knot with braid is going to run a lot smoother through the eyes of your rod than monofilament, or you know, even fluorocarbon will. So always got some braid on me. And that's pretty much it for, you know, the lure box. I do have this one, the contents of which are hooks and weights, a couple more gotcha plugs, you know, vertical jig, and you know, that's pretty much it. But I will generally keep all the metal stuff or hooks and weights separated. I'll have a few in the lure box, but then I'll keep, you know, most of them in the waterproof box. So thanks for checking out the video, guys. I'm not sure what I need to really pick up. I think I need to get some more. I definitely need more treble hooks. Let's see how much wire I have left. I've got plenty of marlin wire. This worked great for me last year for kings and Spanish mackerel, sharks, whatever. 61-pound test is what that was. So, you know, I've got plenty of it. Don't need to get that. So I don't know. It looks like a lot of last year's gear is going to carry over into this year, which is awesome. But I'm probably going to make a Bass Pro Shop run at some point. So there it is. Y'all let me know if you have any questions or comments. If you know of a lure or, you know, any sort of tackle that would be beneficial, let me know. I'll give it a try. Thanks for checking out the video. Y'all have a great day.